Hey, what's up? It's Bond, and today I want to do a reaction to the Fallout TV show trailer and talk a little bit about what I think we may be getting from this. So let's jump right into it. So there we had kind of an iconic looking Fallout vault hallway. Starts off, looks really good. I will say that when I saw this trailer, this little scene here kind of made me cringe a little. Like these outfits don't look great. The vault looks fine, but I will say my first impression was kind of like a yikes kind of thing, but it gets better.
I know that I've lived a relatively comfortable life.
Stop! Lucy! You need to.
So this looks great. This is supposed to take place in Los Angeles or in that area. So we're going to be seeing, I assume, some New Vegas lore and things that we've seen. This is supposed to, I believe, take place 15 years after the events of Fallout 4. I believe, if I remember correctly. So this will be taking place as far in the future as we've seen for this series. And while I believe, it's going to take place on the West Coast, you get a lot of Fallout 4 vibes from this trailer, at least in my opinion.
Go home. Vault dwellers are an endangered species.
We have the first sighting of one of the, iconic enemies in the Fallout universe. This is a rad roach, and it just looks like a roach here, but from the scale, you can tell it's really large. And considering this is a TV show on a streaming platform, I think it looks fine.
I do not think you would be willing to do what it takes to survive up here.
Here we have, this vault dweller reacting, being scared of a tumbleweed. But what I want to point out here is I like the general aesthetic. This definitely has a very Fallout feel. And I even think her outfit, as she's getting more disheveled, I assume being outside of the vault for an extended amount of time, it's starting to look better than it did in that first scene.
If you insist on staying, then you will have to adapt.
So that right there is pretty brutal. I was surprised that for about a few things here. So we see another dog. I'm going to assume dog meat is still, if they're alive, is still over in Boston. But it is cool to see we're going to have that kind of iconic, canine companion. And this setting the tone for this dog, like kind of brutally ripping this rad roach apart. There's more of that to come. So multiple things here. We have some of the classic Fallout soundtrack popping in with one of these old timer songs that has just been so good at setting the kind of tone and the aesthetic of the series. You've got the vertibirds here that just look so good. This looks so good, at least in my opinion. I love the way this looks. And there it is. We got the Brotherhood of Steel logo on power armor, and the power armor looks so good. It looks heavy. It looks weighty. I'm assuming this is going to be a mix of practical and digital. But I love the way this looks. And there's a scene that will come later that's very reminiscent of some of the old, like, astronaut photos and videos where you see him kind of hulking around in the older style suits that weren't as ergonomic as the modern ones. I just think like this thing looks exactly like you would hope it to look in real life.
Tomorrow, so they say.
It's this scene right here that this is iconic from kind of some, we've seen it in movies and media and stuff like that, of this scene of like astronauts walking like away from their launch pad or to it. And this is very reminiscent of that. I just think these suits look so, so good. I really can't say enough about them. I'm very surprised with how much I love the way this looks.
Will be a lovely day.
Here we have, my guess is that this is going to be a scene from one of the vaults, where maybe they're introducing the idea of the vaults, and we're going to see ones that went wrong, or I think there's a possibility our protagonist, our main character, may visit other vaults, and they may get in and kind of see what's going on, and we're gonna see one that's not doing well.
A bright new sun will suddenly break through.
This just looks so good. I think that the kind of the ragged construction of everything and the reuse of old equipment and things like that. This scene I think it just makes me happy.
But I don't want to.
Here we have, I believe it's Walton Goggins, appearing to be a ghoul in the show, looking really good. I've seen some complaints about this, of him not looking disheveled enough or whatever. I don't know. I think it looks great, and I think he's such a perfect person for a role like this. This just was very cool to see.
See tomorrow, unless I see it with you.
Here we have what appears to be a preview of some of the action scenes, some of the shooting and stuff. This looks really good to me. I think this, it looks meaty, as you can see from this still, very visceral and graphic. Like I talked about with the Rad Roach at the beginning, it seems like they are not going to shy away from the brutality and the nastiness of the Fallout universe. And I think that's a good choice. This one's particularly interesting. We have who appears to be a leader within one of the vaults. I assume the one that was going crazy, but he only has one eye. He's a Cyclops. And so there are vaults that are in the lore that had like radiation leaks, and people did over the hundreds of years get mutations and things like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what comes of this.
Oh, I grabbed a moldy one.
That right there, we have one of the iconic sentry turrets. I love the detail that it looks dead on. You can't see it as well on yours because of some stuff I'm trying to do in this video, but it says please remain calm on the little video screen, and beneath it, very Fallout humor, and this just looks so good, I think. And then we have the dog obviously getting away. So we have one of our first sightings of the robots that come with lots of names, Mr. Handy and things like that. This one does have the tool set and all that, and it appears that it's pushing our protagonist on a hospital bed in maybe a hospital or a mall or something. Again, looks good. I'm very happy with the whole aesthetic they're going with here. Here we have a Yao Guai, which is the mutated bears that are in the universe and are in the games. I think it looks really good in motion. And here we have a power armor user who appears to already be messed up. And then we have them getting even more messed up by this Yao Guai. And I think it just looks so good. I'm very happy with it. Another creature here that has a bunch of little tiny creatures inside of it. I can't remember if this is from the game. I'm assuming it is. Maybe it's from 76, or maybe I'm just forgetting it from all the games I've played. But again, looks pretty good. I don't know if you noticed then if you watch this, but Homegirl's got a fork sticking out of her eye. I would assume this is again coming from that scene where everything's going crazy in this vault, which is either going to be one that our protagonist visits that has, is having issues, obviously, or if this is going to be like a kind of funny example of, talking about what the vaults are, introducing the concept, and we see one that maybe didn't go so well. Here we have just such a cool scene, I assume, in a similar area or something as the, we saw the vertebrates taken off before, but this big Brotherhood of Steel, airship that we saw in Fallout 4, and it's like iconic entry, and being able to visit it and check it out. I do think it's interesting that down here at the bottom we have what appear to be the tail sections of extremely large bombs, so I'm not sure if that's going to be playing in or if that's a note to from the war, from the events that led to this apocalypse, basically, if those are old like nuclear bomb tails or something. I don't know, but I think that ship looks so good. Here we have what I assume is Goggins' character during the actual nuclear holocaust that led to the world being in the state it is in the Fallout universe, with a little girl who I'm, gonna guess is his daughter or something, and that we're gonna be getting his backstory here. And here we have an interesting scene, something I don't think we've ever seen before, but a representation of what actually happened on the day that everything went bad, outside of what we get in the intro to Fallout 4. And there we have it. April 12th is when that will be coming. If we look back at this really quickly, I do want to point out that we have Goggins, and this is obviously from a pre-war time or a time during the war. There's a few interesting things here. If this is supposed to be taking place in LA, we have Goggins over here seemingly trying to escape these bombings by on the horse. But if you look at the buildings, I saw some people saying that this looked too modern, but if you look closely, these buildings have the Fallout aesthetic with the kind of punk kind of mechanics and things like that. This looks very Fallout. This looks original almost to me. Maybe I believe this observatory is a famous landmark in LA and things like that, but everything else to me, like, it looks very customized to be story or lore correct with Fallout. So I like this a lot. So what I'm going to get into is talking a bit about my thoughts on this. I think this just looks so good. I really, I was not sure how they were going to pull off the aesthetic and stuff of Fallout, and this is just a little trailer. Who knows how it's actually going to play out. The Halo show didn't look bad in previews and then ended up being kind of a turd, right? So, I think it's okay to be skeptical about this. I'm the type of person who at this, why not just be excited? If it ends up being a turd, then oh well, that's fine. But I think it's okay to hope it won't be before we get too, skeptical or anything about it. Now, I believe there's been some articles and stuff written about, some statements from the people making this and stuff like that, that has some fans concerned that they're going to stray too far from the lore and stuff like that. My guess is that they're going to treat this similar to how they've treated The Boys and Invincible. One is an animated show, the other is a live action show that are based off of graphic novels. And in those properties, they have stuck pretty well to the basic concepts and a lot of the big aesthetics and things like that, but they've also changed the stories pretty significantly from the source material. My guess, this being from people who are related to the boys, and this being an Amazon Prime project in general, is that this is going to take a similar thing. This looks like Fallout, and I assume that's going to be consistent. I'm going to guess that they are going to deviate in particular points of the lore and things like that. This being set in a time frame that we've never played a game in helps, because it gives them the ability to set new story arcs and characters and things like that. I believe Todd Howard has come out and said that this story will be canon though. So while they may take some liberties as they have with the other properties, this also likely is going to be grounded. And maybe the next Fallout game takes place in this same time frame and we get some crossover there. I have no idea. Because in like 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, when that game comes out, we'll have to wait and see. That said, I saw that there's some big Fallout creators and stuff who already kind of are throwing up the "I'm worried" thumbnails on their videos. I think that's so unnecessary. You should never be worried about this kind of thing. It's either going to be good or it's going to be bad, and people will judge that when it comes out. I think this was a really good showing, and I don't really think there's any reason to not just be excited about this just as more Fallout, because we're probably not going to get more Fallout for a long time. And I have to admit, this 100% wants me. It wants to, I want to download Fallout 4 on my PC, grab a bunch of great mods, and jump back in, because this really kind of grabbed me. So that's what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like this video and you want more gaming related videos, maybe even crossover ones like this, subscribe to the channel, like this video if you did. I am Bon Diesel all over the internet, social media, everywhere else. You can find me there. I do have 2 podcasts. The Bonfire is a weekly gaming podcast that you can check out. And then the Mass Effect Hypecast is a monthly-ish podcast about the next Mass Effect and speculation and rumors and news. You can check those out on all podcast platforms and right here on YouTube. That's all I have for this one, so until next time.